Alright, my dear learners, you're welcome to our 14th lesson. Right after the break, you are advised to take the lesson seriously. It will be good on your part to combine the study notes with this video lesson for thorough explanation. What are we today? Yes, we are gradually edging towards the end of the topic photosynthesis. Now, before we begin today's lesson, it would be nice to quickly review previous lesson. Now, in the previous lesson, we learned about how to test for starch, or to show that starch is the end product of photosynthesis. And we said that a leaf from a potted plant exposed to sunlight for about 6 hours is plucked, boiled to kill the cells, and later warmed in alcohol or ethanol to remove the chlorophyll. It is then washed in cold water to soften it, and finally, few drops of iodine solution are released on the leaf. It is observed by the presence of starch in the leaf that the iodine solution, whose original color is yellowish brown, turns blue-black, showing the presence of starch in the leaf. Now, in today's lesson, we should, by the end of the lesson, be able to conduct an experiment to show that sunlight is necessary for photosynthesis. Sunlight is necessary for photosynthesis. So what do we do? So as usual, we need to state the aim. What is the aim? To show that sunlight is necessary for photosynthesis. To show that sunlight is necessary for photosynthesis. What are the materials or the apparatus? We need a well-watered potted plant. That's plants grown in a pot. We need paper clips. We need strips of black papers. We need ethanol, water bath, beaker, test tube, dropper, iodine solution, Bunsen burner, forceps, white porcelain towel, and of course the leaf for the experiment, including water. Now let's observe the diagram. Now if you look at the diagram carefully, we have the leaf covered with carbon paper or black paper, part of it. Now we are doing this so that we prevent light from reaching the covered part, while we leave the other part exposed to sunlight. So this is how we set for the experiment. So let's look at the procedure. First step, the potted plant is discharged by keeping it in the dark for 2 days. What do you mean by the plants being discharged? D means remove. So we are keeping the plant in the dark for 2 days so that any starch produced in the leaf will be used up. In other words, the leaves will be free of starch. There will not be any starch in it to start with. If there's a starch in the leaf, it will destroy the result. We will not know that sunlight is really necessary for photosynthesis. So the leaf must be starched by keeping it in the dark for 2 days. Now, after 2 days, step 2, part of a leaf which is still attached to the plant is covered on either side, that's the upper and the lower side, with black paper and clipped. Part of the leaf is covered with black paper and clipped, as you saw earlier in the diagram. Step 3. Now the whole plant, the potted plant, is now exposed to sunlight for about 3 hours. So the whole plant is now exposed to sunlight. Step 4. The leaf is now plucked from the potted plant and then tested for starch. And how do we test for starch? We already look at the stages of testing for starch. First, boiling the leaf in water to kill the cells. Later, warming it in alcohol to remove the chlorophyll. And washing it in cool water to soften it. And now testing for the starch present in the leaf. And at this point, the part that is covered with the black paper and the part that is exposed to sunlight, both parts will have iodine solution release on it. So both parts will be tested. Remember, before you test for the starch after plucking from the potted plant, you must remove the covered paper. So now let's see or observe what will be seen. So observation. We are seeing that the part of the leaf that was covered with carbon paper did not change color. The part of the leaf covered did not change color. While the uncovered part, the part that is exposed, turned blue-black. So let's find out the conclusion. Why is this so? Good. We are seeing that the covered part that did not change color shows that sunlight is needed for starch to be produced. Sunlight is needed for starch to be produced. The reason is, as it was covered, light could not reach that part for starch to be produced. So when that part was tested for starch, the iodine solution didn't change color because of the absence of starch. However, the other part that is exposed to sunlight changed color to blue-black. So this experiment shows that indeed sunlight is necessary for photosynthesis to take place. I would advise that you spend some time to go over this experiment. It's very explanatory. There's no confusion with it. All right. So by way of summary, we today looked at the necessity of sunlight in photosynthesis. In this experiment, we first of all have to detach the plant from which the leaf is plucked by keeping it in the dark for 2 days. Later, we covered part of the leaf with black paper, and then we exposed the whole plant to sunlight for about 3 hours for starch to be produced. Now, after this, we plucked the leaf, removed the carbon paper, and went through the various stages of testing for starch. And then we realized, or we observed, that the part that was covered, the iodine solution didn't change color, but the part that is exposed, the iodine solution changed blue-black. So we concluded by saying that The part that was covered did not receive sunlight, so no starch was produced. That is why the iodine solution did not change color. But the part that was exposed to sunlight received sunlight enough to produce starch. So iodine solution changed color in that part. The conclusion is that indeed sunlight is necessary for photosynthesis in plants. Again, for advanced learning, marking the last section of the topic photosynthesis, read on the importance of photosynthesis to plants and animals. Why is it really important to plants and animals, including human beings? You are encouraged to do the exercise and upload it. Previous exercises will be marked and forwarded soon. Till we meet again. Bye-bye.